You can get it. Love it. Well, welcome. Today is January 29th, the state of the companies. It's going to be awesome. We've got the whole leadership team on here. And we have a fun and quick kind of recap of January of 2020. And you're also going to hear more about it in each team meeting in each market center. But a lot of fun numbers, a lot of fun things coming up. So we figured we'd go over it real quick. Some updates, and that way everybody's on the same page. It'll be fun. So thanks for being here, and let's take it away. T, why don't you tell everybody what's coming up and kind of the events?
Yeah, so just wanted to point out a few big things that are happening in February. So first big one is Ignite starts on Monday. This is really cool. This is not taking up every single day of your month anymore. It's going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I believe it's like 2 hours. And so that starts Monday. You can take the whole thing. You can take a class here and there. Each subject has been put on the calendar, whether on the virtual calendar on Google or on the paper one that's going to get sent out, so you can see which ones you want to attend. Make sure when you're signing up, you put your market center number. If you're in Mount Pleasant, it's 341. If you're in West Ashley, it's 934. We'll send that out in the email as well, so you have that. So really exciting. Make sure you get to that. We got some great teachers, like high-level teachers teaching the content, and it's a great time for you to network with other agents in the region. So definitely check that out. Today at 1, so an hour from right now, there is going to be a luxury learning. I'm going to put that link in the chat once I'm done talking and I get it, for you to join in if you want to learn about the new luxury. They are revamping the whole thing. It's now going to be something that doesn't cost you anything. It's more of an earned opportunity. However, through the changes, we know some people have been paying in, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. However, it's welcome to anybody to learn about. And so it's through KW Connect, the live streams there today at 1 o'clock if you would like to learn more about KW Luxury. I think they're going to be doing these courses every Friday at 1. So it's something you can just put on your calendar and tune into. And then finally, even though it's not the final thing that's happening in February, you'll see more information coming out. Family Reunion is 2 weeks from Monday. So we're less than 2 weeks out from Family Reunion. And so we have a lot of awesome things planned. Each of your market centers are selling discounted tickets for only $80. And I'm not sure what else you would spend $80 on than listening to Gary Keller. But I'd spend $80 to listen to Gary Keller. Plus, there's tons more content. So definitely sign up. I know both market centers are also offering, if you bring a non-KW agent that's in our market with you and you invite them and they agree to sign up, you get your ticket paid for free and your recruit. And so that's a crazy opportunity for you to go to Family Reunion for free and to bring a friend that could eventually get into your downline. Because I know our team leaders are just hungry to talk to the people you know that you want to get in business with. So definitely make sure to do that. There is Google links for both of your market centers. You've seen them on Facebook. You've seen them in emails. We will continue emailing them and posting them on Facebook. And if you don't know where to look for them in Mount Pleasant, email Samantha, and West Ashley, email Kristen, as you always do. So you guys know the people to reach out to for those tickets. So $80. The individual prices do go up today. So there's no point of you buying the ticket for $130 that starts today when you can buy it for $80 through the market center. So definitely let us know if you'd like to attend. With Family Reunion, we're also planning fun events like additional masterminds with our market centers, as well as a happy hour between both market centers. That's actually going to be outside and in person, COVID friendly. And by COVID friendly, I mean like not COVID friendly, because nobody likes COVID. So be on the lookout for more information about that as we can get together and meet the sponsors that are going to be providing you lunch the whole week if you come into the office, and just get excited for Family Reunion. So that's all I got. There's a ton more training coming on the calendar. CES is bringing a class on how to deal with annoying people in real estate. And I just think that's going to be an exciting class, because we all know that that's something we deal with every day. So be on the lookout. The training calendars are loaded up in February, and you will be seeing those come out in the next day.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll say it, and Karen, jump in, but there's a lot of amazing training. The ALCs, both ALCs, the leadership team, have done an amazing job at bringing in different trainings. We are also signed up for CES. Like I know that last week we had, or either it was last week or the week before, we had Dick Dillingham talking about how to live a purposeful life and a balanced life. We had, who's an unbelievable instructor. We had Gene Rivers talking about how to lead generate, right? And how to build a just a massive business and secrets to lead generation. There's a lot of amazing trainings that you have the opportunity to dive into. So pay attention to the training calendars. Look at that week at a glance email that goes out at the end of every week. And that's on Facebook in the groups that just kind of break down what's coming up the following week. Really, really good stuff coming. And Ignite. And Joseph and I, we talked about, and Karen, we've mentioned this before, this isn't about new agents. Like you don't have to be a new agent to go and take Ignite. I know that on a lot of masterminds that I've been in recently, the foundation or kind of like the common theme that you're hearing is going back to the basics. So if you need a refresher on the lead gen model or the economic model, or you need a refresher on how to hold an effective open house, go to Ignite. Go dive into Ignite, whether you've been in the business for a day or 20 years, it doesn't matter. Go get that, go back to the basics, right? And dive into that. And then lastly, family reunion. I mean, the fact that we don't have to get on a plane, and sure, we all want to be together and we all want to go to Vegas. I do. However, it's so awesome that we get all these amazing speakers and all this amazing content while we're sitting in our couch, you know what I mean? And get to listen to Gary Keller. I know that there's been a lot of conversations about Zillow. Zillow is a brokerage, right? And I'm sure there's going to be conversations about from Gary Keller about what does that mean and how do we continue to stay the fiduciary in the transaction? What do we have to do to continue to bring value to our clients, right? Listening to Jay Papasan and Gary talk about what's going on in the market, right? How is COVID and unemployment affecting us as business owners? So a lot of amazing content at Family Reunion, and for $80 as compared to the typical $2,000 that we pay and spend to go to Family Reunion, I mean, you can't beat it. So definitely get signed up. Karen, you want to add anything?
I do. I think one of the things that stands out to me when you're at Family Reunion and you miss these breakouts because the rooms are full or because you can't get across the building in time to make it, we're going to have access to these breakouts after Family Reunion is over. So you're not going to be waiting for a seat to get in or losing your place in line or trying to, so you're going to have access to everything. I don't know the time frame they're going to give it to us, but you won't miss out on anything. So if you've always wanted to learn about luxury, or if you have an interest on, getting better in a certain specialty area or something, I just feel like you're not going to have to make a decision between one or the other. Every single year I go, there's more than one thing in the same time slot that I want to attend. And now that problem's been eliminated. So I think that's huge. And Vincent, I would love nothing more than for all of you to go as our guests for free because you've brought a guest with you. So please keep that in mind.
Yeah, you can attend the largest real estate conference in the world for free by helping somebody else get some amazing content and inviting them to be your guest. It's an awesome opportunity. Not to mention, it's a great opportunity to then leverage a great training and potentially build your downline, right? I know that we've been talking a lot about profit share and the benefits of profit share and how that can you can be a KW, the largest real estate company in the world, with some of the largest businesses within it for free when you focus on profit share. So it's a beautiful thing.
I want to add just really quickly too, go back to the Ignite part. Of course, obviously we're always here to support and help and everything when it comes to any of your transactions or everything like that. What I have found is a lot of the things that people are needing right now are covered in Ignite when it comes to systems for their business. So like, reiterate what Vince has said, and, Karen and I have known Ignite since its inception, just from a teaching and productivity standpoint. This is a foundational training. So any answer you need for a system in your business is found in Ignite, as it relates to transactions, contract to close, those sorts of things. So if you need a refresher, or even if you just want to download the materials and look at them, it's a huge resource. I just wanted to reiterate that it's not like Vince said.
Yeah. And Joseph, also they have, if you haven't taken it in the last year, it's now fully integrated with Command. So it's it might be some of the same content, but how does it apply in our new technology world with our platform? So highly recommend it.
100%. That's a great point, Karen. I mean, this idea of integrating command into your business so that you can lower your expenses, run all of your business from one platform, and then continue to run a massive profit margin, right? And Ignite covers that. They talk about the applets within command and how you can integrate them, right? So it's a foundational course. Continue to watch for the CES trainings that are also coming around, because I've heard just amazing things about CES. The ALCs are 2021 ALCs we can run through, and we can run through and just kind of announce who they are in both market centers. But they were just on with Holly Prescott yesterday, and they were talking about how amazing it was to listen to pretty much the creator of CES, if I'm correct in that. I think she created CES. And we had the opportunity, our ALCs had the opportunity to listen to her yesterday. It was just such a cool thing. So exciting training, right?
Yeah. So CES, for those people who might be listening to this and don't know, Carolina Educational Services, I took for granted when I first joined Keller Williams. I just thought that was a thing everywhere, and it's not. I mean, you don't know how fortunate we are in our region that Holly created that and brought that about. And now Tammy Youngst is running it, who some of you may have had as a bold coach. And the instructors that we have in this region that come to us for Ignite and for CES are outstanding. I mean, above the bar, basically.
Yeah, just top notch. Love it. Well, why don't so that everybody knows, and we did it at the team meeting, I'm sure you did as well. Why don't we just go through real quick and kind of welcome through the state of the companies the ALC members for 2020 or for 2021. Holy smokes, 2020 is gone. For 2021, thank goodness. And kind of bring some so that you know who to go to for 2021 ALC questions. So Karen, go ahead and announce Mount Pleasant's.
So yeah, in alphabetical order, we have Desiree Maurer, Jackie Hess, Nate Freeman, Rena Brown, Susie Kopp, and Terry Suter. And I just want you guys to know, I'm very pleased with our ALC. I appreciate their attention and engagement yesterday. And the committees this year are going to be awesome. We've kind of consolidated and simplified it. So once we get towards the point of family reunion, we'll have a Google form going out with that for more information. But we've combined the cultural and social committee, because let's face it, from a social standpoint right now, the two are going to go hand in hand. Technology, and then growth and finance. We've also combined those two because if you want to learn more about how to run your business and how to generate profit, the two just kind of go hand in hand. And Chip has offered to step in on that one and kind of take the lead with some teaching on it. So there's going to be massive opportunity to be part of those committees. So I would like to welcome our 2021 and congratulate our 2021 ALC. I could not be more excited to be working with each of them.
Yeah, what a great group. And it was so cool yesterday. We had both ALCs on listening to Holly, and it was so cool to see the collaboration between each ALC. Really exciting. So in West Ashley, we've got some amazing, I'm trying to find the list because I don't want to miss anybody. We've got, so our new growth chairs are Trenton Seckinger and John Joe Salazar. Our finance chairs are Josh Stamps and Kyle Walker. Our mentorship chair is Patty Stover. Amazing. Our technology chair is Stella Tooten. And then we've got culture and equity, and that is Al Simmons and Greg Flanagan. We've got our social and wellness chair, and that's Lexi Gladman. And our education chairs, Jurgen Wagner and Maggie LeBlanc. So we have a great group. So excited for them. We had some amazing conversations yesterday. And we're really excited to have that amazing group leading West Ashley and collaborating with the Mount Pleasant ALC. So it's going to be really exciting. A big congratulations to those individuals, to both ALCs, and welcome. It's going to be awesome. So if you have any questions in that regard, like if you want to learn more about how to grow your profit share tree, go to the chairs of the growth committee, right? Or if you want to learn how to grow a more profitable business, go talk to the finance committee chair. you want to learn about how to integrate command at a higher level into your business and how an amazing agent is doing it, go talk to the technology chair, right? So go leverage, or if you want to have your voice heard, go sit on an ALC committee and voice your concerns, or voice your, even better, voice what you're happy about. And there's a way, it's the one thing that's different and that no other company is replicating, right, Karen? I mean, we think about it, profit share has been replicated. This idea of team building has been replicated, but the profit share has been replicated. I don't know if I said that, but the one thing that hasn't been replicated is ALC. No other company has ALCs, right? A company, and KW does, right? You have a voice.
And I think something too, the people that were on the ALC retreat yesterday got to hear, like, why was the ALC created? And maybe that's something we talk about in a future team meeting or something, just to understand the importance and the value of it. More than anything, like, it's a way to create leaders within our organization. And if you have interest in participating in the ALC in the future and you want to know more about that, come talk to Vince, come talk to myself or one of the other ALC members, and we can get you on track. It's just always been an awesome experience for me as an ALC member. And now as my first time as a team leader, I'm just pumped about it. So if you have questions, just come see us.
Great groups. So we're going to a quick announcement. So Tiffany talked about at 1 o'clock, we have a new luxury, or rather there's a new luxury program. Let's call it that. In the past, luxury used to be something that you had to buy into. So if you wanted to utilize the KW luxury platform or some of the signage or some of the logo or dive into that infrastructure, you had to pay for it. KW is totally restructured it. They went back and they said, we actually are selling from a luxury standpoint. Keller Williams actually sells the most luxury property in all of real estate. So what they've done is they've restructured this program. And again, 1 o'clock today on KW Connect, there's going to be a webinar on this. So if you're really interested in it, go and sit on that or shoot us an email and we can get you more information. But the bare bones of it is now it's earn in. So, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Karen, but if over the last 2 years, you've sold 2 properties, is it?
Hold on.
Karen will tell you.
Yeah. So instead of being a buy-in membership, they're going to a performance-based model. 4 properties over the last rolling 24 months to stay a luxury designated agent. And our price point is $1 million and up for Charleston County. Some of the surrounding counties are a little different. If you have, if you need clarity on that, you can go to Connect and look at the luxury tab. And I think it breaks it down by county, or we can pull that up for you. But it's 4 units at or above $1 million on a rolling 24-month period. That being said, you sell your first, or you list your first $1 million property, that property qualifies for luxury. So you get to take advantage of all of the marketing and all of the specialty stuff for luxury. You just have to earn into the designation now. Tiffany just posted the link for us.
Yeah, basically the other 2 counties are 750. So it's and the last one, to clarify too, prior to this, it was still an earn-in. You still did have to have qualifications, but they removed the membership. And for those of you that are already asking the question, thinking the question, we are working on those of you that are in it who may have, now that because the luxury number for Charleston County has actually gone up. And we have the ability to grandfather people in. So for those of you that are currently in luxury prior to this point, we're going to handle that. So it's not automatically, you just get reset, especially for those of you that have been in luxury for a while, should that apply to you.
Right. We're working with the region to make sure that you get grandfathered, and then you'll have 2 years to earn in from there.
One of the cool differences is the fact that, say you go and you find $1 million property that fits that criteria. Like Karen mentioned, you don't have to be a part, you don't have to have already been a part of luxury to dial into the infrastructure of luxury and the marketing for that property of KW luxury. You can just dive into it because the property qualifies. It's a really cool perk.
Yeah, and it's branded to you, because that would before that would happen, it would show up on KW Luxury site, but it wasn't branded to you. So should you take that listing, you're treated just like a luxury agent as it qualifies for that.
Yeah, big difference. Love it. So if you have any questions about that stuff, go to those links. or give us a call and we can help you and walk you through it. So it's really cool. So now we figured we would pivot a little bit and we talk real quick kind of about the market and about what we've watched from a KW Charleston standpoint in the numbers. Numbers tell a story, right? Things aren't good. It's not good. It's not bad. It just is. And if we like the number, we like what it's telling us, great, let's rock with it. If we want that number to be different, then let's make changes. Let's bring different trainings in so that our agent base can help change that number. So Joseph, you want to go through some of the numbers that you had mentioned?
Yeah. So I don't know, Tiffany, if I'm able to, can I share my screen? Yeah. So what we wanted to do, thanks. What we wanted to do is start pulling this as the strength in numbers, right? I mean, we always want to look at the market, what the market's doing, and then how we're comparing to the market. And we're working with the MLS right now. We're going to go back to where we will have an overall way to pull Keller Williams Charleston as a whole. But right now we sit as, when you pull companies, it's separated actually between West Ashley and Mount Pleasant. What it's going to do now is we have the ability to pull Keller Williams Charleston, which will include West Ashley, Mount Pleasant, Isle of Palms, and then the new location in Somerville, KW Key, all under one. So you can actually use this out of the MLS, which is great. So what we did in the meantime is we just pulled some raw data, because we always want to look at what we're doing. I'll pull up the graph here in a second. Well, looking at the raw data of what the market's doing and then what the company's doing, but then kind of get into a little bit of a dialogue, and not too long because we want to be sensitive of your time, a little bit of dialogue of what that looks like for the individual agents. So just as a quick reminder for those of you who haven't heard the stats as far as how 2020 closed out, this is straight from the MLS. We had a 17.4% growth in the number of units that were sold from 2019. And we had a jump in dollar volume of about 32.4%, which is a pretty big jump, right? So then what we want to do is say, okay, how does that apply to us? What does that mean to us? So what we've done is we pull the raw numbers of all the agents that are in Keller Williams. And again, all of our local locations, right? That's going to be Key, West Ashley, Mount Pleasant, and Isle of Palms. And we got a total down here at the bottom. Don't get too bogged down in the numbers, but because like I said, these are raw behind the scene numbers. And basically we saw as a company a 22.63% income in the number of units that we sold overall in Charleston as Keller Williams. That's great, right? That's outperforming the market by about 5%, okay? Now, we didn't see quite the same jump in the volume change, right? We saw a volume change from, we grew 34.2%, still a good growth, and the market went up 32.7%. So we're really looking at outpacing the market at about 2%, still outpacing, which is good, right? We just want to be aware of what that is. And there's a lot of different things that cause that. It's based on recruiting, people that come on board that may have a lower price point. It could be based on teams that are focusing, that for whatever reason, their average price point went down. We're really going to dig deeper in that. But then what we're going to do is we're really going to start looking at this number. I took out the names, but this is basically all of the agents in Keller Williams in Charleston. And we're going to look specifically at how their individual businesses are doing. And here's what I mean by that. So let's just take this column right here, which is the units changed. If you sort this column by, getting a little ahead of myself, calm down. All right, sort this column by units change, and you just go in order. Then we can really start to dig in and see what kind of growth we had with agents and growing. And as you can see, we had a lot of agents that grew a lot in their business. Now, again, if they were new, that's going to cause a big number. If they had 1 last year and 4 this year, those are going to cause big numbers. But the thing is we need to look at the fact that if you look at units growth, everyone from here down did not outperform the market. Now, that could be by design, right? That could 100% be by design. We just want to make sure we're having that conversation with you, right? We want to make sure that we're reaching out to you to know that, hey, so-and-so last year, you had a great business. You seem to be very happy with it, went up 15%, the market went up 17%. Is that something you want to work with us to help you grow on that? And again, the purpose of showing you this is to show you how we're digging down in the numbers in each one of the market centers, because we want to make sure that we're aware of how the agents are doing. So if you go again back over to the volume side now, and you look at the volume numbers, you've got a decent amount of agents, but a lot of agents basically anywhere other than these 30 either performed with the market or performed under the market, right? Now, the important part to remember is these discussions are if you want, right? This doesn't mean I'm going to sit down with Vince and say, hey, Vince, you had a 25% growth in your business right now. That's not good, Vince. It should have been 32.7%. Well, Vince may say, no, it's actually exactly where I wanted it. My goal was X. I hit X. I'm totally fine. Fantastic, right? This isn't you have to do the same as the market. But I think it's important that we're having those conversations, because if we don't know how to help.
Yeah, and I think that's so right. I think the other part to it is if our intention is to grow, how much of that growth was intentional activity-based growth as compared to market growth, right? Because when the market does shift, which it will at one point, nobody has a crystal ball, then if I'm not doing the right activities to intentionally outperform the market, when the market shifts, I will be impacted by that at a greater level than if I was outperforming the market prior, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, and it's also, how does that compare to the rest of the market individually, right? Because this isn't a challenge just with Keller Williams. If you take, one of the things that the leadership teams are looking at is, we've got X%. Let's just say it's somewhere around 15% of our agent body between the offices had outperformed the market. That's about the same in the overall MLS. That doesn't mean it's right, but we want to make sure we recognize that, because the challenge we're going to have in 2021 from a leadership standpoint, in my opinion, is celebrating the hottest market we've ever had, but also making sure the agents are experiencing the hottest market they've ever had. Because one can happen without the other when you have this kind of market. We've got 7,000 agents, 21,000 closings for 42,000 sides. It's easy to have a great market, but then have a lot of agents that aren't having the best year ever. And so we want to make sure that we help the agents on that.
Yeah. And from a training standpoint, I would say everybody should go and read the book Shift.
Yeah.
And the first part of that book talks about the law of equilibrium. This idea of, in a hot market, how more agents get into the business, which obviously is going to make sides, or the available sides per agent, decrease unless the market is continuing to grow like it has. When that market shifts, the agent count is still what it was. And it takes a second for the agent count to decrease to equal the per agent or the available size that was prior, right? So that's an important kind of law in real estate that we have to appreciate and understand. We're probably at the top of some sort of market, whether it's agent count, whether it's units, whatever it is, right? So we have to just continue to watch these numbers, understand how they're impacting us, and we have to decide whether we're okay with it or we're not okay with it, and then we make choices to change our result, right?
Yeah, and correct. And I think I loved how you put that. We make choices to change the result. Well, you can only make choices if you have them. And that's one of the things that, which you always do, you could argue, yes. However, from what we're providing as a market center and as a company, we need to make sure that we're giving you the choices you need, which kind of goes back to this training. Ryan and the PC program in Mount Pleasant has made some drastic changes in the last last month or so since he's been here, which has been fantastic. We're making some tweaks in West Ashley. But what we want to do by going back to these individual numbers is identify where we need help. So when that agent does want to make the choice to say, hey, I actually need to lead generate more, we have the daily power hour on the calendar. Or, hey, I need to better my listing presentation, then we have that mastermind. Or I need to get better at marketing, or finding talent to bring on an assistant. We have that mastermind for them as well. We only know that, though, by staying in relationship with the agents.
Yep.
Holly brought something up yesterday about the Shift book, and it just triggered when Vince was talking about it. There are 8 of those tactics that apply in any market. So if you haven't read the Shift book because we haven't had a shift yet, or because you hear us talking about it and you don't really think that you need to be prepared, what about your mindset? What about finding motivated people? There's 8 of the 12 tactics, I believe she said, that are crucial in any market. So it's definitely a good, just to pick up and flip through to the chapter that impacts you the most. I mean, what are you struggling with? Are you struggling keeping the transaction together? I mean, negotiations, whatever it might be, that book has specific chapters dedicated to those things. So
pricing strategies, should I stage, should I not? I mean, there's a lot of different pieces in that again, it's a tactics book. Mm-hmm. It applies in all markets, most of it. It's just I love that, Karen.
Well, here's the thing, Karen, you brought that up, and it's so funny because a lot of people say when the shift comes, when the shift comes. Let's change our vocabulary.
Mhm.
Let me go back to the screen,
It's always shifting.
right? This is a shift. This is in the last 1 year of days on market, or excuse me, month supply. That's a shift, right? I mean, that's a shift in how you're going to run your business. The problem is we get stuck that shift means a crash because the last economic debacle was caused by real estate. It's not going to be caused by real estate this time, so it's just going to be affected differently, right? So the
Right.
shift is there. Days on market, same thing. Bam, look at that drop. I mean, so we have one, and that my point on that is to go back to those 8 topics, like you said, Karen, are for any market, because any
Right.
market.
So with the graph you just showed us, would reading the tactic create urgency or creating urgency with your buyers? Like, is that a strategy that you could implement in your business to get those buyers to, come to the table ready to close, ready to buy, ready to put their best offer on the table? So
Right. 100%. Here's what's ironic about that. Who would have thought in that initial shift, one of the tactics would have been create urgency in your buyers when you had homes sitting on the market for months and months, but it still was creating the urgency for the houses that we're going to sell.
Yeah.
It's the same now. Great point.
The one thing that I want to add is this concept. I think Mike Bastion always talks about it. He talks about this concept of how to make money, right? Number one, you have to put yourself where money is changing hands. Number two, you have to do what nobody else wants to do in that space and be the very best in the world. Number three, number three, you have to leverage your strengths and leverage your weaknesses, right? Leverage out your weaknesses. And when we think about that shift, right, all that's happening is it's not necessarily a good or a bad. It just means the money is changing hands in a different place. Mike Bastion always draws that right at the top of the market. Maybe you're going to have a lot of people that can move because they've done well, right? Second home buyers, things of that nature. At the bottom of a market, maybe you have a lot of smart money, cash, right? REOs, short sales. But every market is going to have those individuals that have to move because of personal reasons. Because when money changes hands, positive market expectations, right? This is right from Shift. Positive market expectations are going to change, and personal reasons are going to be usually one of the only reasons that people are buying. So we just have to identify where is money changing hands right now and go put ourselves in the middle of it and then be the very best in the world at it. And that's what a shift is all about.
Yep, I like it. So I know we wanted to wrap up. Did you have anything else that you want to add to this? Because I wanted to add a couple of questions. All right, so I'll pose the question to Karen and Vince, and then I'll answer it as well to close out. So whichever one goes first. So in the next 30 to 60 days, what's the biggest challenge that we're going to have as agents, and how do we overcome it? By the way, they didn't rehearse this. I just threw this out.
Taking listings. I mean, continuing to steal market share. Again, go back to the foundations of this company, to the foundations of real estate. Leads, listings, leverage. How do we generate enough listing leverage and listing leads rather, so that we can go and take market share and control our own destiny, as compared to, I mean, we could probably do a poll and say, how many people have a buyer on this call? I mean, I bet there's 100 hands that pop up, right? Everybody's working with buyers.
right.
There's no control there for your business, right? What do we have to do to go get more listings? Go to page 138 of the MREA and go pick something. But what do we have to do to go find more listings to insulate our business, whatever that means? That's what I was.
Okay.
Yeah, piggyback on that, like go into your database. You had people that told you before the holidays they wanted to wait till spring. Well, I'm sorry, but let's just face it. This is going to be maybe even better than any spring market we've seen. I've heard through the years, people don't buy houses in January and February. Well, I'm here to tell you, like, looking at our numbers, they absolutely do. And for the last 2 months, we have almost outpaced ourselves by 100% of the contracts we're writing versus the listings we're taking. So get into your database, get into conversation, create urgency, and get those listings on the market.
Love it.
100%. Awesome.
All right, team. Well, if anybody needs anything, reach out to Karen, reach out to me, Tiffany, the leadership team, Joseph. We're here to support you. We're so excited for 2021. 2020 was an awesome one because of all of you. And again, we love you. If you need anything, call us. Rock and roll. Thanks for being here.